Please welcome first-time DynamicsCon speaker, Mignon Coenen. Today she'll be showcasing her session, Dynamics 365 Project Operations and Copilot. Please stick around after Mignon's session for a live Q&A.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this presentation. My presentation is on Dynamics Project Operations and Copilot, and I'm going to tell you how to boost your projects. Well, a little bit about me. I'm the presenter. My name is Mignon Coenen. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm a senior business consultant sales working for GAC Business Solutions, one of the largest Dynamics partners in the Netherlands. I have a financial education and a background in financial jobs. At the moment, I have 24 years of experience with GAC. Started out with Navision, how it was called back then, but I've worked a lot with NAV, Business Central, Dynamics, and Power BI. And for the last 9 years, I've had a focus on Dynamics 365 Project Operations, which was first called Project Service Automation. Before going on, I would like to thank DynamicsCon Virtual for giving me the option to present this to you. So now let's dive into what I'm going to show you. Just a short agenda. Why should you use Dynamics 365 Project Operations if you're not familiar with it? Why should you use Copilot in Dynamics 365? Then I'm going to show you the things you can do with Copilot within Project Operations, and we'll head off with a Q&A after the presentation. So if you have any questions, remarks, comments, or whatever, just put them in the chat during the presentation or afterwards, and I'll get back to that with the Q&A after the presentation has ended. So let's move on with the first one, and that is, why should you use Dynamics 365 Project Operations? Once again, if you're not familiar with Project Operations, it's built within the Dynamics 365 platform, and it's built on top of Dynamics 365 Sales. It's a project management tool which can help businesses, professional services businesses especially, which can help to plan, execute, track their projects. It's all designed around projects. So it will integrate planning, resource management, budgeting, and collaboration into one platform, and it will lead to invoices from all the time and expenses that have been recorded on the projects. Because it's built on top of Dynamics 365 Sales, it will help you win more deals, because in the opportunities you already can plan your projects. It will improve project management and collaboration around projects. It will match resources with project demands. I will get back to that later on. It will manage time tracking and expenses, and as a result, create invoices. And with all of this, it will maximize your project profitability. So a great tool for companies that do projects for their customers. Then why should you use Copilot within Dynamics 365? Last year, Microsoft has done a lot of Copilot functionality within their applications, and it also landed within the Dynamics platform. So Copilot will help you to automate repetitive tasks. It will provide AI-driven insights, and it will help users to save time on all those tasks that they need to do on a regular basis. It has a user-friendly interface, and it secures security and privacy, which is really important for most companies. Almost every company, I would say. Once you get to know Copilot within Microsoft 365, within Office, Outlook, or whichever application you use, you will find that Copilot within Dynamics works almost the same, but it will work on your business data. So a great tool to increase productivity, to improve collaboration amongst users within a company and to enhance decision making because of all the insights it will give to you. So really important and really good to use it. So let me show some of the functionality that Copilot can help you with within project operations. First off, start with building a project task structure, because when you're doing projects for your customers or internal projects like product management projects or whatever projects you want to build or you want to do for your customers or for your users, you need a project task structure, because the project tasks within a project will tell the users or your consultants or whatever employees you have, will tell them what they need to do for that specific project. And it will all come down in a work breakdown structure. So the project task will tell what work needs to be completed, which resources will do that work, the time frame in which the work must be completed, but also the dependency between project tasks. So with all of this, the tasks become manageable portions of work that you need to do within a project. So when you have a look at this example of a work breakdown structure of one project, you will see that there can be hierarchy between project tasks. You can assign tasks to specific roles, function roles, or to specific consultants. You can track the effort, you can track duration. There's a lot of information in those project tasks. So if you want to build a project structure from scratch without Copilot, you need to start from scratch. So you need to put in all those lines, all that information. You need to figure out which tasks need to be done. So there's a lot of work in that. There are options to copy one project structure to a new project, but this only works for the same contracting unit or resourcing unit and for the same currency. So if the project needs to be done by another contracting unit or in another currency, the copy function won't work. And because the project tasks are built up within Project for the Web, import from Excel is not possible at the moment. Maybe it will come in future, but at the moment it's not possible. So if you are going to do this without Copilot, it will take a lot of work to set up a project with a lot of tasks if needed. So when you're going to use Copilot, then within the project, you'll have the option to put in just a name, and then you let Copilot do the work and create a project task structure for you. So what you will need to do is just put in, besides the name, put in description of what the customer wants with this project, or what you think the customer would like to have within this project. So in this case, the customer wants a Dynamics project operations implementation with extra effort on migration of data. And then you can let Copilot create a task plan. So it will collect data. It will be really creative. It will take into account what you put into the description, and it will come up with a project task structure. This will take about 10 to 30 seconds. And then you will see that even with different levels within it, Copilot has come with a really neat project task structure with, because I told him so, extra effort on data migration. So it's still, it is available, it works. And after this has been done, you have the option to just go on and make adjustments to whatever you want to do within this project task structure. You can change the names of the descriptions or the names of the tasks. You can assign the tasks to resources or roles of resources. You can adjust the effort. You can do whatever you want to. It's just a starting point. So you don't have to fill in everything from scratch. So when Copilot says it will take 5 days, I can change it to 6 days or whatever I want to. If I want to change the starting date, I can do so. I can change or put in the dependency from one task to another, because the workflow automation in this case can only start once the fields mapping has been ended. So when I do this, you will see that the start date of the next project task will be changed or will be dependent on the finish date of the former project task. So it's just a good starting point, and it will take care of a lot of work, which normally you would need to do manually. So a good example of what Copilot can do for you. I'm going to show you how Copilot can help in identify project risks and even come up with mitigations for that one. So when you start a new project, it's really important for a project manager to be aware of risks, potential risks there may be in the project based on whatever project you're going to do. And you would like to have a mitigation plan in case some of those risks are really going to happen. So the risk assessment will help you to manage all that and manage all those obstacles. Copilot will automatically generate risks based on all the information that's available within the project. It will come up with a recommended mitigation plan. What you need to take care of is that before you can use this functionality, actuals need to be logged on this project first. So you will need to have some time or expenses approved within this project before this Copilot function will work. Let me show you how this works. You will have a project, and in that project you will have a separate tab with risks or whatever. Now this is empty because I didn't put it in anything, and Copilot will do the risk assessment for you. So it will collect data, will look at all the data that's available for this project, and it will come up in this case with 4 AI suggested rows, 4 AI suggested risks, with a probability, with a mitigation plan. And because there's data migration in this project, there is a risk of challenges and everything that's in there. So it will come up with a risk probability of 75%. I can put in a contingency plan in case something unforeseen will happen. So once Copilot has set up this risk assessment, I have the option to add risks. If I find that there are other risks, I can edit the AI suggested risks. I can assign them to other people within the company, or if I don't agree with the risk that Copilot has come up with, I can delete it. So this is what happens. And during the project, if more actuals are logged or other things happen within the project, I can ask Copilot again to do a risk assessment, and it will come up with other risk, or maybe still the same risk with another probability plan or other mitigation plan. So I can continue to use it within the project because all the information is stored within the project. And because the information is stored within the project, I can also use it in Power BI, for instance, to summarize it or to use it with other information on projects or whatever I need to show to other users or management or whatever, or to customers. So really helpful tool to get good insights on the risks within a project. Once you have set up a project and you know what you need to do within the project, you would like to have the best resources for this project. Without Copilot, this is also possible, but when you're trying to find the best resource for a project, there are multiple factors that need to be considered. The resource needs to be available or needs to be made available in some cases. Maybe you have some preferences on specific resources. Maybe you have some preferences on skills a resource needs to have to do that job or to be able to perform that task. It would be best if a resource has some experience on things he needs to do within this project. And of course, you would like to have the resource with the least cost. So when you need to consider all these factors, and it's a really big company, this can be a labor-intensive task because you don't know everything about everybody. If you have 500 consultants, it's really, really difficult to know all these factors from all these different consultants. So it's really a labor-intensive task. What you need to do, because it's possible in project operations to find resources without the help of Copilot. What you need to do is, just like I did in the project task structure, is that you need to link a generic resource to a project task to create a team member. Because this team member will tell you what kind of resource you would like to have for this project, what the resourcing unit is you would preferably have this resource from, which role the resource needs to have, and in which period, for how many time the resource needs to be available. So that's the first step you need to take. Once you've done this, you have to generate a requirement, because the system needs to know that this position needs to be filled in. So you just hit the button, generate requirement, and the system will tell you that the requirement for the selected team member has been generated. So that's step 2. Once you've done this, then you can add extra preferences to this requirement. So for instance, in this case, I would like to have a consultant with extra skills. For instance, he or she needs to have a good knowledge of project operations, and the verbal communication needs to be proficient. But it also could be that the consultant needs to speak French, for instance, because the customer is a French customer. So in this case, in this resource requirement, you can put in some extra preferences for skills, for roles, for organizational units, or you can say, I would like to have, like in this case, Mark Johnson as the preferred resource for this assignment. So once you tell the system what kind of resource you're looking for, you can submit a resource request. When you do this, that request will go to a planner or planning persons that will go through those resource requests and will try to find you the best resource for this project that is available, that has the right skills, and so on. So when submitting this request, you also have the option to put in extra notes, to give just that extra feedback on the resource planner to try to find you the best resource for this project. Once this information gets to the planner, the resource planner, he can use the find resource function that's available on the resource request. I don't know if you ever have done this within project operation, but because there are so many preferences in this resource request, most likely you will get the message that no resources are available for this requirement. Please adjust the filters and try again. Because the more preferences you give in, it will not be likely that there will be any resource that is going to meet all these requirements, and that is also available in the time frame that you want this resource to be working on the project. So this is what normally happens, and you need to get rid of all the skills and try to find the best resource that's available. So this is a lot of work. and you need to try to figure out what you need to do to get a resource available. But then Copilot will come in and with a new function called resource recommendations. So Copilot can help you suggest resources based on all those factors that you've given into the resource requirement. So how does this work? Oh, let me tell you, let me not forget to tell you this is still preview functionality. I don't know when it will become general available, but at the moment it's preview functionality, which you can use, but maybe use first in a sandbox environment, but you can try to see what happens. So first of all, you need to do some preparation to be able to use this function. You need to make sure that you're on the right version, because otherwise it will not be available, or the multi-factor recommendation is not working. So you need to be on the right version of Project Operations. You need to enable the resource recommendation engine, the feature in the control panel. So that's something you need to do. Once you've enabled it, you cannot disable it again. So be aware that you do this in the right environment. You need to activate, connect, and publish 4 data flows, and do that in the correct order. So these, once you've set up the feature, these should be available in your environment. If not, just go to Microsoft.learn and you will find the information on how to get these available. And last of all, you will need data, because if not enough data is available, Copilot or the resource recommendation function will not work, because it cannot find anything. Maybe you can put in the chat if you already have experience with this feature or with the other feature I just showed you. I would like to have some feedback from you, what you think of it. So I will give you my feedback afterwards, but I'm just curious what you find. So once you've done this, I'll get back to the team members, because I generated that requirement, and I can then suggest resources. That's a feature, the function you need to use within the team tab. And then Copilot will go through, in this case, all assistants, because that's the role I would like to have for this resource, for this fulfillment of that resource. And it will go and find the most relevant resources. In this case, it will come up with one resource, which has a score of 7 out of 10. Not bad at all. So let me find out why this resource has a score of 7 out of 10. This one has a skill match of 50%, really good. He is available, 100% available in the period when this task needs to be conducted. Cost impact is 720 euros. There's no past experience, but yeah, really good score, 7 out of 10. So when I go back, I just would like Copilot to find out if in other resourcing units there are other employees available that maybe have an even better score. So I can just hit the button, show resource fund, click on other resourcing units, and let Copilot do the trick again. So in this case, I will see that there is even one resource with a higher score, with an 8 out of 10. There are also resources with lower scores, so I don't need to look into those. But there is one with a higher score from another resourcing unit. What I've done here is that I also included contractors, which means that not only employees, but also resources that are working with another company can be included in the search for the best resource. If I don't want that, I'll just hit that button and contractors will not be included. So when I want to have a look at all these resources and see and compare them with one another, I just hit all of them, press the compare button, and the system will show me a screen with all the resources in which I can see how they match availability, skill match, cost impact, experience fit, and so on. So here I can can compare the different resources to one another, which gives you a good overview of which one is will be best on your project. So once I've done this, I can also put in extra filters or tell the system that in this case experience is not that important. So I will not include that factor. Maybe availability is not important, and I'll just figure out how to make that resource the best resource available. So I can use these settings to get other results, and maybe a resource that at first had a really low score will get a really high score once I use these settings. So that's an option you can use. Once I've looked at these resources, and again, when this is a list of 50 resources, I maybe would like to have the option to shortlist some resources because I want to compare those and not all resources that are available or do have a high score. So once I've done that, I will get a shortlisted overview of, in this case, 2 resources, which I really, again, can compare to another or whatever I want to do with it. In this case, I still would like the one with the lowest score of the 2 to be do the job on this project. So I then can select that resource and hit the continue booking button, and then the requirement will be updated, and at last the resources will be booked on the project. So this is how the Copilot functionality works, and I think it will give a lot of information and will do the trick for you. So my experience so far, and again, I'm curious to find out what your experiences are. But my experience so far are make sure to have enough data. If you only have 2 resources in your environment, it won't work. The initial search only considers resourcing unit of the team member, not from the resource requirements. So even if I put in extra resourcing units to take into consideration, it will not work with that. So maybe, that will come in future. The costs are not shown for every resource, and I'm not able to figure out why that's not why they're not shown, because all resources have the same setup. So something I need to figure out. Sort and filter doesn't work on all columns in that beautiful compare mode. And the actual booking still goes through the resource requirement with all the initial criteria. So you just have to delete all of them, and then the selected resource will come available. So that's something you need to take into consideration. But overall, I'm very pleased with the first version of this one. So I would like you to use it and see what will happen. The next one, once all resources are booked on the project, they will have to track their time and comments on that project, on those tasks. This is a weekly process. You can use the time entries. Normally it's manual input, or you can copy a week, copy all the things you've done last week and copy that to this week. You can import your bookings. You can import exchange appointments, all things that are available at the moment. But with the coming of Copilot, you can let Copilot suggest time entries, which is functionality that's available within Timesheet. And it's based on the resource assignments in that specific week. So you can use 2 prompts. The first one is log my time, and the second one is create comments for those generated lines. So how does this work? First of all, you need to have those resource assignments within the project. And you do this by booking a resource on a specific task, or just put in an assignment, and this will be taken into consideration with Copilot once you use that function. So when you have resource assignments for a resource, you can go into the time entries, and you can use those 2 prompts that I just showed you. So in this case, I already have one time entry that's already approved in this timesheet. And I'll just ask Copilot to log my time, and it will go through all those resource recommendations. It is working on it, and it will come up with, in this case, 3 assignments, which all have different hours and different projects, because all these assignments are on different projects. So even 2 assignments on one project within this week. And once I'm telling the system to create these entries, it will fill my timesheet, and it has successfully created 5 time entries for in total 40 hours. And when I refresh this grid, I will see that 3 extra lines have been created, and the Copilot dot will tell you that these lines have been created by Copilot. So really neat experience. Later on, I will tell you what's going to come. But in this case, once Copilot has logged my time, then I can use the second prompt, which tells me, or which tells Copilot to create comments for these generated time entries. It's working on it, and it will pick the task description from the assignments. So it's not really creative, but it can help you to fill out your comments. You can change it, you can delete parts of it, you can add extra comments. And once you've done that and link those to the time entries, you can save it. It will put in those comments in those 5 entries. And when you're going to edit those entries, or edit the entry, you will see that the adjusted external comment is logged with this time entry. Once you've made an edit by yourself on these entries, the Copilot dot will change, will disappear, and then Copilot will not work on those time entries again. So that's something you need to take into consideration. But yeah, pretty neat functionality to use. When the project is moving on and on and on, project managers most likely need to generate project status reports. And these can be internal or external. Internal for managers, external for customers. And Copilot can help you generate those project status reports. It will be based on all project metadata that's stored in Dataverse, and the report that will be created is adjustable. So yeah, it's a good starting point. It will be stored in the project with a timestamp, and like I said, use it as a starting point. It really looks good. So what will happen once you have a project running, you can use the Copilot option risk status report. This will only be available once you've tracked time or once there have been actuals on the project. Otherwise, it will not be available. And you see that within seconds, Copilot will come up with, in this case, an internal status report with with some standard blocks that are always available within this report, and you have the option to edit all the different parts of this report. It will be saved. You can download it. You can print it. You can use a Word template or run a report, whatever you would like to do with it. But what's really useful is that this status report will be available within the project. Once you refresh the reporting entity, you will see that the report was logged on a specific date, and also the editing I just did is still available in this report. There are 2 kinds of reports. One is the internal use report, like I showed you just in that video, with a lot of different blocks within that, but also an external report which you can use to send to your customers. So really useful functionality, and just try to use it. It's really easy. If you don't agree with the status report, you can just delete it, try it again, and use it over and over again. Last of all, there is an interactive chat-like experience. If you're used to using Dynamics 365 Sales, maybe you've already used that chat-like experience on the right-hand side of the, for instance, account form or opportunity form, where it will summarize the opportunity once you've opened it. This chat-like experience now also is available within project operations. So you can open it on the right-hand side, and it's only at this moment only based on the Copilot functionality that's available within project operations. For instance, you can ask Copilot to create a status report for this particular project. And then when you hit the enter button, Copilot will work for you, and it will ask you, what do you mean? Do you mean the external project report or the internal project report? And you just hit one of them, and the project report, like I just did, will be created and will also be stored within that project. I'm guessing that all of this functionality will be, there will be more functionality like this within project operations in the future. But it's a good starting point, and like I've shown you, a lot of information already available within project operation, and a lot of functions already available within project operations. So this concludes my session, my presentation on project operations and Copilot and everything that's available at this moment. But stay tuned, because there's more to come. And I don't know if you already have had a look at the release wave and all the documentation around it. There's more to come. Microsoft is continuously giving out information of what's coming. There will be an enhanced quote experience. So within project operation, you can also use the quotes from Dynamics 365 Sales. There will be extra experience with this with Copilot and an AI quote summary. I'm really looking forward to that one. And I just mentioned that there will be a time and expense agent. Not like the Copilot functionality I just showed you within this presentation to log my time and create comments, but this agent will also look what I tell at the moment in your Outlook agenda, and is going to try to find all the available information to help you log your time without inputting it manually. So I'm really looking forward to these extra functionalities that are going to come. So stay tuned for more, and just try to keep up with everything that's going to happen. So thank you for attending my session. I'm very curious to all your comments, questions, and I would like to answer them after this session. And if you want to know more or ask questions, just follow me on LinkedIn, and maybe we'll get in touch and we can help each other. And maybe I'll see you later on. So thank you for now, and we'll go over to the Q&A. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. You just saw my presentation on Copilot within Dynamics Project Operations. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm here together with my colleague Rob from the Netherlands, signing in from the Netherlands, where it's getting dark already. So we'll just look into the chat and see if there are any questions. Rob, maybe you can help me because I don't see that much.
I have one, at least one question. Is that okay? Everything that you have shown during this session, all the functionalities, are they all included in the Dynamics 365 project operations license?
You mean all the Copilot functionality I've shown?
Yes, all the Copilot functionality.
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question because Copilot comes everywhere in Microsoft 365, in Dynamics, in Business Central. It's everywhere. You've got the Copilot for sales licenses and everything is there. And what we always say that everything that's within project operation, within sales, in Business Central, that's all within the license of that product. And if it says, for instance, Copilot for sales, then it's an extra license. So that's how we remember how it works. At least that's how it works at this moment. We never know what's going to happen in the future. But at this moment, this is how it works. So everything I've shown in the presentation is within the project operations license. And project operations works on top of Dynamics 365 sales. So that's a combination license on that one. And we're doing great on Copilot. Rob, we're doing an event next week all on Copilot from our company. And we'll be presenting everything on Copilot. So, we're just curious how everybody's using Copilot at the moment and whether what I've shown will help you in your daily life, in your everyday job. So if there are any questions, just ask them. And there's more to come, like I said in the last session of the video, of the presentation. A lot of things to come, a lot of new functionality to come, and I think it's just starting. There will be more and more. Agents are going to come, so there's a lot of good things to come. So, I'm just wondering if there are any more questions.
Don't see any.
No, I don't see any
questions.
So, we just can wait for.
Just a second. I see one comment is how to use Copilot in your everyday life or job. How it makes you easy.
Yeah.
I guess
you have a lot of experience with Microsoft 365 Copilot, and how it can help you. You do.
Yeah. Well, what we see is that Copilot. There are Copilots everywhere, and what you see is we got also a lot of experience with the Microsoft 365 Copilot. That's the one that you can find in Word and in PowerPoint and Excel and Outlook and Teams. And we have, like, in our company, we had a pilot group with like 20 or 30 users who had the availability of the Copilot within Microsoft 365. And I could say is that I never want them to take away this life from me anymore.
Yeah, you just need it in everyday life.
Use an Outlook and Word. Those are the three applications I am really used to Copilot.
Yeah.
I got a question, I think, here.
Yeah.
How do you handle the agile, the Scrum type of implementations? Do you just handle it at sprint or iteration level and don't bother with tasks? Or how about billing aspects? The hours allocated to person 1 or 2, etc. At the sprint level, do you still need dummy tasks? Typical question for you.
Yeah, that's a serious question. Well, yeah, it depends on how you want to track all those tasks and the hours in those tasks, because at the moment it's possible to add 2 people to one task, but the hours will be allocated, they will be divided between the 2 persons, so you cannot say one person gets 16 hours and the other gets 8 hours. What I always do is allocate it at the lowest level. So I think you should do that. Are those dummy tasks? I don't know. I think you should put the effort on the lowest level possible. So hopefully that answers the question. Otherwise, maybe you can reach out to me and we'll come back later to that. So hopefully that works. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I see a wonderful session, so that's good to hear. Let's see if there are other sessions of our questions. I don't see them.
Not at this moment. I don't see
Not at this moment. No.
Questions.
So everything was clear, I think.
I got one question for you, maybe, Mignon. What do you expect? What do you if you have to make if you can make a wish? What do you wish for? For which Copilot functionality to be available in project operations, say in the next coming months? What is the functionality that you really want?
What we see is that invoicing of all the hours that are registered, all the expenses that are registered, invoicing takes a lot of time. So hopefully there will be a Copilot agent or Copilot that will help you on telling you what to invoice to your customers. That would be of great help, because you don't want to spend a lot of time on invoicing and making invoices. So that would really help. And I haven't seen anything yet in that area, but I think that one would be of great help to a lot of users. So maybe I'll just point that out to Microsoft, and we'll see what happens. So I think that one would be a good one.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, and then I think we are done for this moment.
Yes.
No more questions, no other questions. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, just you'll have my data information in the speakers directory. So just reach out to me, and have great other sessions today. And thank you all for listening. I'm waiting for the day Copilot can do my laundry. That would be a good one.
Yeah, that's
me too. Me too. Let's see. That would be cool. So thank you all for listening, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.